Hello everyone. So today we'll discuss on the topic CPU scheduling or process scheduling. So we all know that the computer can do variety of tasks and moreover different tasks. That means it can perform multiple tasks or more than one task simultaneously. So that this is called as multitasking or multi-programming. So this multitasking, how it is coordinated or how it is performed, so let us discuss in today's class. A system with a uniprocessor, a system with single process can perform one task at a time. Single task can be carried at a time. So therefore all other tasks that needs to be executed should be in the queue. It's waiting for the processor to get the processor for the execution. So in a multi-programming system, so the scheduling is very important. So in computer science, so the scheduling is allocating the resource. So any resource can be used only after the allocation. So the resource should be allocated before use. So the term CPU scheduling means allocating the CPU for a process so that that process can execute and process can run. Okay, so this multi-programmed operating system, so the objective is the maximum utilization of the CPU because multiple tasks run simultaneously, so the maximum utilization of the processor or the maximum utilization of the CPU is very important. So if the CPU is idle or without any work, so then the throughput of the system will be reduced. So that means the capability of the system gets reduced, so that the maximum utilization of the CPU is a main objective of the multi-programmed operating system. So therefore when the task enters or when the task given to the system, when it is entered into the system, so it forms a queue. Okay, so called as a ready queue. Okay, so when the task is given to the system, so it will be entered into the ready queue and it waits in the ready queue to get the processor. So when the processor is available, so then one of the task or process selected from this ready queue and given to the CPU for execution, and this process is called as scheduling and done by the schedulers. Okay, so this is done by schedulers. So we'll see what is scheduler. So the scheduler is nothing but it is a operating system component or one of the module of the operating system, and it mainly functions, or the functionality of the scheduler is to allocate the resource. Okay, it allocates a resource, and there are three types of schedulers. One is called long-term scheduler, another is short-term scheduler and medium-term scheduler. So now we will see the functionalities of each scheduler one by one. So the first one, the long-term scheduler. When the number of tasks given to the system is more than the capability, so that means at a time that can be processed by the system, when the task given to the system is more, so then all these processes resides in the mass storage, so that means in the secondary storage. So the long term scheduler, so it loads the process into the memory or into the ready queue. Okay, so from the secondary storage device or mass storage, so it loads the process into the memory or into the ready queue. And so this long term scheduling or it's executed infrequently or in less frequent because whenever the number of tasks increases, so then only the long term scheduler, so that it needs to balance the number of processes in the memory. So therefore in some operating system even it is not used, or so that it is very less frequently used long term scheduler. And one more thing about the long term scheduler is, so when it selects a process from the secondary storage device, so it performs a very careful selection. So it selects both input output bound processes and CPU bound processes. So by CPU bound process we know that, so the process where the computation is more than the input output operation. So similarly, whereas in input output bound processes, so the process with more input output operation than the computation or less usage of the CPU. So therefore when it selects a process when it loads the process, so it tries to balance between the CPU bound process and the input output bound processes, so that it ensures the maximum utilization of all the resources, the CPU or other resources. Okay, so the next one is the short term scheduler. So we know that all those processes which are ready for the execution, so they are waiting in the ready queue, because in a single processor system only one process can execute at a time. So therefore all other processes are waiting in the ready queue. So whenever the CPU is available or if it is free, so then immediately one of the scheduler, it selects one of the job from the ready queue and the processor will be allocated for that process so that it can execute, and that is done by the short term scheduler. So this short term scheduler selects one of the job from this ready queue and it will be assigned to the CPU, or the CPU is allocated to one of the process that is selected by the short term scheduler, and that process is going to execute. So this short term scheduler executes very frequently and it should be very fast. The selection of the process and assigning that process to the CPU should be done very quickly, because if it delayed, so then the processor time will be wasted. So that it should be very fast. So in between this long term scheduler and the short term scheduler, so the one more intermediate scheduler called as a medium term scheduler. So now let's consider the number of process. We know that all the process given for execution, that means all those tasks given for execution, resides in the computer's memory. Okay, so now let us consider there is no sufficient space for a new process to load or to bring a new process into the main memory. So then if there is any unwanted, means the process not in use, maybe interrupted one, or maybe the process which is blocked, so such processes will be transferred or it will be removed from the internal memory and sent back to the hard disk, so that the space created or vacated will be occupied by the needed process. So this medium term scheduler, it performs that job, so that removing the unwanted or the process which is not in use from the memory and sending it back to hard disk, and from the hard disk the needed process will be brought into the internal memory, and this is called as swapping. So the process of swapping is handled by this medium term scheduler, so that it balances the number of processes in the memory. Okay, so this is about what actually the scheduling is. So the one more thing is, so when there are multiple or multi-programming, there are two types. So that means some processes are preemptive processes and whereas some are non-preemptive. So in preemptive process, the operating system can preempt, or it can take away the processor from the process at any time. So once the CPU is assigned to, say for example, process 1, this CPU can be taken away from the process at any time in case of preemptive processing. Whereas in non-preemptive processing, once it is allocated, it cannot be taken back. So and the process going to release the processor only after the completion of the job. So therefore, in multi-programming, especially in case of preemptive processing, the CPU is shifted from one process to another process, from process 1 to another process, say for example P2. So in that case, now this process P1 is interrupted and one more process is given for execution. So during that time, so the information regarding this process, so that is stored in the registers. The CPU register contains the needed information about the process for the execution, memory management information, or the instruction that is to be carried out next, like that. Okay, so those information stored in the CPU register. So and when it is preempted, so all those register information should be updated in the PCB of this process, in the process control block of the interrupted process, and the PCB information from this P2 that is going to execute next should be loaded to CPU register, and this is called as context switching. Okay, so that is copying the register information of one process and loading the information, PCB information, to register of the CPU. So called as a context switching, and time taken for this is called as a context switch time, context switching time. And so it should be reduced. The context switch time should be reduced because during context switching the CPU cannot do any useful work. So that is why, so if it is delayed, if more time taken means the CPU time will be wasted. So today the CPU supports the multi-set registers also. So there will be multiple set registers. So all the information of process 1 is loaded or copied to one register set, and there will be other free register sets. When it is interrupted, so the information of the other process will be loaded to the next empty register set, so that whenever there is a context switch, so what needed is only the pointer needs to be shifted to the other register. So this is how it performs, the operating system performs or coordinates, or it controls the multi-programming through the CPU scheduling or the process scheduling. Okay.